Welcome back to F1 2017 Career Mode with Haas. Today we are starting off with a core competency, I think I said that right, and we have completed 15 practice programs, so we get 2 upgrades per department now as part of the upgrades kind of thing, so that'll make upgrades a little bit quicker. And we need to get the points though, that's the main thing really, but we need to get the pit stop efficiency because that will help. Our car's pretty quick anyway. We can be even quicker, but we will actually take a brief look at this comparison table. We're just shy of Toro Rosso, and of course for the race we are going to put in all of the number 2 components, I think, pretty much, because like loads of them have worn out and are a bit pointless, to be honest, to actually run in the race. But actually the energy store we turn over, as well as the control electronics or fresh power unit. Let's see what we can do in the race. But unfortunately we had to change our gearbox because it was really bad last time, so unfortunately we're going to be starting from the back. So before we get into the race, let's take a quick look at the grid ahead of the Spanish Grand Prix. Mercedes dominated this weekend with Lewis Hamilton locking out first place, followed closely behind though by Sebastian Vettel in the Ferrari. Kimi Raikkonen lines up P3 and P4 to Max Verstappen. P5 goes to Valtteri Bottas in the other Mercedes. P6 to Ricciardo. Lance Stroll with a great qualifying lines up P7. Sergio Perez, also with a great qualifying session, lines up P8. Kevin Magnussen in P9 in the first Haas. Nico Hulkenberg in P10. Esteban Ocon lines up P11, not far behind his teammate. And P12 goes to Daniel Kvyat, with Carlos Sainz, his teammate, lining up P13. Felipe Massa in P14. Fernando Alonso with a great qualifying lines up P15. P16 goes to Julian Palmer. P17 goes to Stoffel van Dorn. Marcus Ericsson in P18. Pascal Wehrlein in P19. And we round off the grid in 20th place due to a gearbox penalty after changing our gearbox before the minimum amount of races completed, and we changed that in practice. So that's going to be it for the grid. Now it's over to the race.
Our grid position is not as high as we had hoped, but push hard in the race and hopefully with a bit of luck we can finish with a positive result.
Okay, so here we are on the strategy. We are going to try and do a 2-stop in this race from the hard to the medium compound. Initially it was a 3-stop. I think the 2-stop will work a little bit better. We are pretty shocking around here. We're last place. We might as well put on the harder tyre to try and kind of elevate ourselves up higher. But at the end of the formation lap, they kind of look like super softs, but they're not. They are orange. It's just a bit deceptive there, but here we go. We've got the lights turning on. It's 5 red lights till the start of the race, and we are underway. Lights have gone out, and surprisingly, we got a great start. Overtaking both the Saubers on the hard compound of tyre, but now we've got Van Dorn and Julian Palmer ahead of us going down into turn 1. I think it's going to be 3 wide. Yes, it is going to be 3 wide between the 3 of us. And I'm just trying to give Van Dorn and Palmer the room, really. And we just about nip ahead of both of those cars. We just overtake Palmer now to grab P16. That was quite a challenging first corner. In fact, the first challenging couple of corners, but as we get a little bit of oversteer, and we now go down the inside of Alonso and Felipe Massa, we're going to try and push him out, and we certainly do for P14. We've got to be a little bit aggressive in this kind of opening lap because the AI really will not take prisoners. As you can see, I kind of oversteered a little bit and Massa's still on the back of us. This is the section we're going to struggle with, this corner before the first DRS straight. It's kind of annoying. Well, the first DRS straight on the first lap. But anyway, down the inside of Carlos Sainz. Can we push him out like we did to Massa? Yes, we certainly can. Again, being aggressive. We're up into P13. So we've climbed 7 positions. We were last on the grid. So that's quite an achievement on like the hardest compound of tyre this weekend. As we go through into the chicane, kind of jumped over the curb a little bit and run slightly onto the curbing and onto the first straight. In fact, this is where the DRS will first be applied in the lap, but going on to lap 2, as I tried to select fewer updates from Jeff, we kind of mess up our braking and go wide. Massa climbs through, and can Sainz actually grab a hold of another place away from us, but I'm trying to hold it the best I can, but we're still side by side going into the first part of the corner before the chicane, and now I just lock up, go to the inside, takes Sainz. Sainz cuts the chicane. I have to give him the room. I think some front wings being like lost from him there. And that would make sense because he kind of lost a lot of speed on that last corner. But he's pretty much behind. Not threatening us at this point. 4.8 seconds to Magnussen is quite an achievement, to be quite honest. But we're in P6 on lap 12. We're still on the hard compound. We've got Ricciardo, and I think that's Max Verstappen behind as well. But we make a massive mistake and absolutely drift it through that corner. That allows Ricciardo past. And Max Verstappen is pretty much closed right onto the back of us. So we're going to try and perhaps keep with Ricciardo here, because he will give us DRS. And in fact, we are within the detection range. So this should be a little bit of an easier task to defend against Verstappen. Well, Verstappen kind of backed off a lot. And we're gaining on Ricciardo. Are we going to look for a move? That is the question. And in fact, I decide to back out. There's no point challenging Ricciardo because he's in a Red Bull, for goodness sake. And then there was nothing that happened until this lap where me and Verstappen both came into the pits at the exact same time. So let's actually see who comes out ahead in the pit stops. I mean, remember, we are on the hard compound. I think Max has probably gone onto another set of soft tyres or something. I believe he will do the two-stop. We get held because of Verstappen in the pit lane, unfortunately. So then he jumps us at that initial point. But Verstappen has actually gone onto the hard tyres, so that's quite interesting. Is he going to try the one-stop? And in fact, I think those tyres will go through till the end of the race. And in fact, yeah, they will. They certainly will. So Verstappen there might have actually got the jump on us, but we're in P14 on the mediums. We've got Kvyat ahead of us. I said that completely weird. Ahead of us on the medium tyres, but he is going to be on more worn tyres, so it shouldn't take us that long to really catch up to him. We also have Palmer behind, who we actually fought with into turn 1 on the first lap. So nothing's too bad. The control electronics on the engine, though, are a little bit yellow, but nonetheless, lap 18, we catch up to Kvyat finally. Still P14. And this is the point where we start to see a lot of improvement from our pace. Lighter fuel, better tyres, and Kvyat can't even pull away from us. We're just closing him in constantly. I just kind of cut that chicane a little bit. But nonetheless, final corner, we've got a great run through there. In fact, our chassis is a lot better than the Toro Rosso's. Pure Ferrari pace. With a Renault engine in the back of that Toro Rosso, they stand no chance to defend. And we have P12. At the end of that, Ocon is ahead on the hard tyre. We should be able to close him down, hopefully we can. Lap 26, it's P8. Perez is behind us in P9, he's close right up to the back. Which is quite interesting because his pace has been pretty good towards the mid to end part of this race. And in fact, he's right on the back of us at this point. I'm kind of struggling a little bit because this car is no good chassis-wise and downforce-wise. So we kind of have the disadvantage in Sector 2, kind of over the Force India. But saying that, Perez tries to go round the outside. I'm taking a very shallow line to try and defend, and I certainly do successfully. And this corner, well, in fact, nothing happened because this is the lap after, or a couple of laps after. This is where Perez starts to catch up. And in fact, Perez is right on the back of us. He moves to the inside, and I have to defend against Felipe Massa as well. So I had to kind of stick it in the middle there to try and defend. But now we're going to go too wide through this little section here with Perez. This is absolutely fantastic, this battle. And Perez just gets the edge just as we go into the chicane. And I think, oh wait, no, we've chipped off our front wing. So that's going to be a bit of a pain because now we can't actually turn corners properly. We're going to have understeer, but then Perez again tries to go around the outside and I push him wide this time. And this is the lap after that. These next couple of laps are pretty eventful as we try and go side by side with Sergio Perez into turn 1. And in fact, it's pretty much like what happened on the first lap, but it's too wide this time. And Perez is just sticking to the inside and make brief contact. Have to go a little bit off the track to the outside there. But Perez just about is going to stick ahead just at this point. But then as we come around this corner, we've got to look at the trainer cars. We've got a Ferrari at the back of this car, but we go down the inside of Perez. And no, we've chipped off more of our front wings. That's pretty much most of the downforce gone, as you can see. A yellow right-hand side of our wing there. So we are in a bit of a pickle. But surprisingly, we managed to keep Perez behind as we go through to the chicane, try and get a good exit, and full power through the final corner, or try and go full power through the final corner, and we finish P8 after starting last place, which is very surprising.
Here come our winning drivers then, out onto the podium at the end of a thrilling Grand Prix. The drama and excitement are over, and it's time to let it all sink in. Congratulations to our top 3 today. And now
Well, that was a very eventful race. P20 to P8. What a haul of points that is. I did not expect a points finish. I'm not even joking, but we've got driver of the day with the one stop as well. The best, well, second best one stopper of the day. No one retired, surprisingly, which was really weird. But yeah, we are 4 points away from completing the rivalry. Force India rep has gone down, no surprise. And we have finished 14th or higher, and we beat our teammate, I think. So that works. That works for us. Next up, we've got Monaco. I will be doing this straight after, because the Monaco race wasn't that long. Neither was this one. So there's our results for the season, and we shall progress pretty much straight away onto Monaco. However, just before we do that though, we're going to actually put an upgrade on the car. So I think the front wing main flap will be more beneficial to us with all the downforce and such, so we're going to have to wait till Canada for that. So then we'll be probably second from the bottom, pretty much in aero. So before we get into the race, let's take a quick look at the grid ahead of the Monaco Grand Prix. It's Lewis Hamilton who lines up on pole position, followed closely behind by Kimi Räikkönen on the first row. Valtteri Bottas in P3, this time not so far behind his teammate. P4 lines up Max Verstappen in the Red Bull. P5 goes to Felipe Massa. P6 goes to Kevin Magnussen. Sebastian Vettel lines up in P7 after being hit by a 5-place grid penalty for changing one of his gearbox components. P8 goes to Carlos Sainz. P9 to Sergio Perez. Daniel Ricciardo, also hit by a grid penalty, lines up P10. Jolyon Palmer in P11. The same with Lance Stroll. He's been hit also with a penalty to start P12. Fernando Alonso in P13, surprisingly from the McLaren team, being able to get up that far up the grid. In fact, it's probably his best qualifying this season. P14 sees a best qualifying position for Sauber. Lines up Marcus Ericsson, which is pretty fantastic, considering the Swede had a lot of trouble in qualifying. P15 lines up ourselves. P16 goes to Pascal Wehrlein. P17 to Daniel Kvyat. P18 lines up Nico Hülkenberg. Esteban Ocon and Stoffel van Dorn round off the grid. All drivers from P16 to P20 were also hit by grid penalties. So that's it for the grid. Let's head over to the race.
No heroics into
Okay, here we go. Strategy screen time. We are going to be starting quite a way up the field, surprisingly. We're going to try and do a 2-stop this race. In fact, that was the original strategy. We're going to try 1 stop. Don't know if this is going to work though. It really is a bit weird with the strategy, but the soft tyres can last a long time. I'm not too great around Monaco, so this is going to be quite interesting the first couple of laps certainly. But we're going to start on the super soft tyres, or not, as this case may be, because I'm switching the strategy so much. Okay, so I finally make up my mind. We're going to start on the soft tyres to go onto ultra softs, but we are getting ready for Monaco. 5 red lights, and we are away. Not too bad of a start from P15, surprisingly. We actually qualified last, believe it or not, but there's so many grid penalties, it's unreal. Really, but there's a little bit of trouble into turn 1. In fact, I overtake Ricciardo under yellow flags. I think there's a Williams that may have chipped the front wing off on the edge of turn 1, but nonetheless, we're on the back of Daniel Ricciardo. We're up into P11. As you can see, pace is quite shocking. Heavy car. Not very good tyres, and we just about close up to Ricciardo. I had to lock up just to stop, like, going into the back of him. the early laps on these tyres are going to be an absolute nightmare. We're on the slowest compound of tyre. There's even more yellow flags now. This is just yellow flag all the time when at Monaco. And in fact, we're up to P11, just about defending signs and nearly clipping our tyre on the wall. But as we go down into this section here, not too bad of a section. In fact, like if you're on the ultra softs, but when you're on the soft tyres, well, that's a little bit of an issue. We're just going to have to kind of hunt down Ricciardo and perhaps stay with him to actually have a chance to overtake. And in fact, it's going to be very difficult to overtake. It's Monaco. Not a lot of places where you can, so locking up going into the second to last corner and then the last corner. Kevin's in the pit lane. He must have had damage or something. I don't know what was wrong with his car, but, you know, we gain another position. We're up into the points on lap 2. And there's still debris at turn 1, which means it's going to be a pain. So, we are on lap 6 out of 39 in this race. The last couple of laps were pretty boring. But we're still ahead of signs. That's all that matters. We've got a train. Our teammates catching up to the back of that train. 8 seconds to Ricciardo. That's how much he's gained over the course. Remember, it was about 3 seconds before, and now he's gained like another like 6. And he's going to end up just basically going on from there. But Sainz has had a problem. As you can see, he's backed way off, and Alonso is now in P11. So what actually happened? Let's take a quick look on the replay. So here's Sainz coming out the tunnel, and right there, puncture. Puncture, rear left. So that's going to be a bit of a pain, and also he kind of held up Alonso for us a little bit, and then eventually he didn't actually go into the pit lane, which was very surprisingly. He carried on into turn 1, crashed, and just parked his car. So he kind of thought his race was done at that point. Lap 14, we have Jolyon Palmer in the banana car of the Renault team, right behind us. I never thought I would be saying we have a Renault behind us, because we're pretty much ahead, like 50% of the time, with the Renault stuff. But as we go through the tunnel, I mean, Jolyon will catch up, and especially this section here, he's on the ultra soft tyres. So obviously, as you can see, he's gained quite a lot of time. I've had a really bad run through there. Going into this really scary left-hander, followed by a left and another right-hander, which is very scary. Right there, very close to the barrier. Go into the chicane, pretty much a clean run through there, although Palmer does get a slightly better run. Lock up again, a little bit of oversteer, and as we go through the final corner, just about avoiding the barrier and onto the straight, where we hopefully can keep him at bay. And in fact, we just about do that. Now it's 18.4 seconds to Ricciardo. That's amazing. We are so off the pace, and we make a mistake going through that section, having to cut, and we smash into the barrier. Our front wing has gone. Palmer barges past, saying, "Move over, Haas. You're stupid at this track. I'll just take your position," and we're just going to lock up everywhere. And the engineer will not shut up. But yeah, we're gonna have to come into the pits this lap to fix our front wing. And we're going to have to go on the alternate strategy, which is the super softs. So I think that'll be our only stop now, as we double lock up going into this corner, and we get a 3-second time penalty. I could not make that corner. I was just going to go straight on. And we even make more contact with the barrier. We have so much understeer, it's ridiculous. Going through the chicane, we have to be very, very cautious, and going into this corner, we surprisingly do not lock up, and then we just chip our front wing even more. We're getting it changed anyway, it's fine. But yeah, this is the point where we're going to be held for so long. It's a bit pointless, kind of gunning for the top positions at this point, because we're going to be stone dead last. As you can see, Hulkenberg crosses the line right now, and there you go. We are pretty much last. That was a very long pit stop, but this is the lap when we're trying to catch to Perez, and we smash into that scary barrier, and we're gone. We're gone from this race. So yeah, we were trying to catch a Force India, and then we ended up smashing into the barrier. Then we retired. Yeah, that's not good, is it? Don't think the team are going to be happy about that. So we ditched the car and Kevin Magnussen comes home for P13. No points for Haas. And we finish alongside Carlos Sainz in the battle for the DNF championship. So Raikkonen wins. No surprise. And apparently there was a safety car during that race. Kind of sad, but we are 10th in the Drivers' Championship, 1 point behind Perez. Kind of disappointing. But Magnussen, though, is still in 15th. We're still 6th in the Constructors. And we are slightly leading our rivalry, and now our teams, like the teams around us, just hate us. So, DNF. Don't DNF, because otherwise you'll lose all your reputation. It's just kind of annoying. But yeah, that was one to forget. Canada's up next, though.
Okay, I've got something for you. The new parts have been fitted to the car. The simulation numbers are good, so look forward to your feedback. Check out the details.
Alright, we have a new upgrade. What could this be? Oh wait, it's our front downforce upgrade. Fantastic. That's on for Canada when we kind of do need a little bit more downforce. Especially through Sector 1. Yeah, hopefully that one will end up a million times better than what this one does. But that's going to be it for this episode. 2 races in one. Not too bad, actually. Quick look at the performance chart before we end. Ferrari just above Mercedes. That's going to be close to the top. Anyway, that's going to be it from me. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe for more F1 2017 career mode. And I shall see you all next time.